introduce ourselves.
I'm Adrienne.
I'm Pam.
I'm Karen.
Eileen.
Jenny.
And we're at the Five Sisters Cafe. And welcome with your coffee, sitting there at your computer. And we're going to talk about a male presence in your child's life. Whether you have a husband or the child's father, or an uncle or a grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Or
It's
a neighbor.
absolutely crucial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a strong male presence that gives them a different perspective.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, men have a different perspective
They do.
in life.
Yeah.
And
They have a different
role,
energy.
different
Oh,
energy.
Yes.
Yes.
And they have a different way of learning things and
Right.
showing what they've learned. And
And interacting with the
Teaching.
child.
Right.
They're not as,
Very different.
yeah,
They tend to be more playful,
Mhm.
right,
which
more
really,
physical.
it's what the child needs.
Mhm.
And sometimes we can get,
Mhm.
because as a mom, at least for me, because I've been so involved in educating them
In the minutia.
and in the minutia, the
Right.
laundry, the feeding them,
Right.
all of that, you can get overly serious about the whole thing. And what the male presence brings in is that playfulness.
Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it can look like, well, gosh, you're immature. That's what the child needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
like play,
Really
yeah.
do. Just,
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, if the child doesn't have a male living in the home, for the mom's sake, find some way to bring that
Male
presence,
energy,
male
right,
energy
Right.
into the child's
life.
life.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Sometimes you have to go looking for it.
Right.
Yep.
And there's the Big Brothers
Right.
Oh, sure.
Society, and that's really good.
Sometimes
if
it's
you
just
really
a-
don't have someone.
But I mean, in a
Yard work with a neighbor.
yeah, I was gonna say it's a fun,
Anything
sometimes it's a
that's
fun
physical.
neighbor.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 Let me tell my experience. I was the kind of mom that could do it all. I was changing the diapers.
all
I
of
was,
us were.
Yeah,
I think we
all-
were.
Yeah, we
We
just
were,
stepped
and I
right into
could
that.
do it all. I was gonna be there and do it all. But I remember very early on, and with my first child at less than 1, that I needed to allow my husband to have the
Right.
interaction with his son
Right.
to make sure that he also knew, this was for the sake of my husband too, to make sure he knew that this was his son and he has a huge part in raising
And
him.
he was crucial to
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was so hard for me to let go in that first year, to let him, you know, I wanted to correct everything he did. This is my baby, and you are going to, you know, no, I had to step back and I'm gonna let
Yeah.
him be the dad he's gonna be. I'm gonna let my son have the dad that he has.
Right.
I'm
right.
not gonna mold and manipulate, and it was so hard for me.
Oh, me too.
Yep.
And that's and just to not just step in and do it, or you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
well,
say-
and I think also it's the expectation. I didn't expect my husband to do anything, and so he didn't pick up the pieces.
Mm.
So if I were to, I needed to expect it of him,
Right.
Mhm.
so that
Right.
to
That exactly.
allow
Right.
him
Yes.
Right.
to know that he needed to pick up the
Yeah.
pieces,
Yeah.
or he
True.
just didn't
Yeah.
do it.
Right,
Yep.
right. Because hey, I was so capable.
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's
So
got
I
he's
had
got
to
these
let him
other
know.
things. He's
Mhm.
got
Well,
children
something
who
else
work
that's
full
more
time
important
and-
now.
Yeah.
I can't bring him here.
It's really easy because you start out especially if you're breastfeeding a baby, you
Oh, yeah.
start out
Right.
being the sole
Right.
everything,
Right.
you know, and so it's
Absolutely.
you don't
that's
even
natural.
know you've gotten into that being both parent role.
Right.
Yes.
So
You know what else
That's what
happens
happens.
is, as the mother, you neglect your husband.
yeah.
It's,
Yes.
it's all
Right.
that's hard to give it
Yes.
up to your husband, but at the same time you neglect him. So he actually, and David told me this, my husband told me this, you were clearly more involved in the children than me.
And you sort of exclude him.
Mhm.
And so to make yourself let him be the dad.
Right.
It, it's hard. It was
It
hard.
is hard.
Even things aren't going to get done the way you.
Yeah.
The
No.
Yeah,
diapers
right.
might fall off
The
a little bit.
diapers
if they're
will not
too
get
loose.
changed
But,
properly
I, but I'm
at
not.
first.
I found that I was willing to let him do
Right.
it. Was he willing to pick it up?
Right.
Because
Right.
That,
at
that's
that
where the little
point,
push. That's
yeah,
where the
at that-
push comes in.
right at that point, he was ready. He was already saying, "No, you can do it."
Right.
So then
Yeah, my
Okay.
husband said, "You're better at it than
Right.
me."
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
so
they'll say those
learn.
things.
Right.
They'll do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It
They'll
just
do
takes
that.
a little encouragement.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think it's with the teens too. The dads really
Oh,
need to
yeah.
have that
Huge.
time
Oh,
Right.
to
definitely.
bond with teens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very important. Yeah.
Go out and throw the ball. Go out and
Right.
play basketball. Go find the community hoop and just bounce that ball.
Even
and
little things like, oh, I need to go to the auto parts store. Take one
yes.
of the kids.
Yes.
Take them along with you.
Oh, they
Yes.
don't wanna go to the auto parts.
I don't
store.
care.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
You're
that's when the
taking.
best
Yeah.
talks happen is on the way to the
Absolutely.
store.
Well, that's actually, I had to force that.
Yeah.
Right, I did
I would
too.
just go put my kid in the car,
Yeah.
seatbelt him
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
That's what I should have done.
Yeah,
I would do that. I'd force it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and eventually it became second
Yeah.
nature,
That's
but
true.
Yeah.
I had so many, and especially when it got down to the last one, it was just overwhelming.
Yeah.
yeah.
That I really was forced into, I've got to do something with one
Right.
of these kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Take him camping for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, with my sons, it was easy. Dad
Yes.
would take them ski. They had the same interests, so he
Yeah,
could take
but-
them out. Let's just
And
Let's
it's
go do-
easy to roughhouse with boys too.
right. The daughter, he said, I don't know what she's interested in. She doesn't like, and my daughter would. I don't know what to do with Dad. He doesn't like to do anything that I like.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I just no go to a movie, go out to
Yeah.
lunch, go out to dinner, and so he started just taking her out.
Exactly.
He'd take her out to dinner. He'd take her shopping. He took her
Oh,
to
yeah.
the department store,
Yeah.
and so that's how they started.
Mhm.
She would just say,
Getting
"Yeah, let's
to
go to
know
a movie."
each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go to a movie together. So, oh, okay, because Dad wouldn't think of this
No.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Absolutely.
But I
By the
think
time
it's-
she got to be a teenager, it was, I don't know what to do with her. She's a teenage girl. So he just
because they do, your relationship changes as
Right.
the kid grows
Exactly.
up, and so
Yeah.
you've gotta keep in tune with that.
right. She wasn't interested. He tried getting them all into skiing, and
Yeah.
she just was not interested. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
I want to
Right.
get up at 7 in the morning. To,
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Well, now my daughter's 26 years old, and they love to spend time together. They're planning a hike
Yeah.
next weekend. I mean, their relationship has grown to my daughter and my husband has grown to something that they just can't wait to spend time together.
Right.
You know,
Aw.
she lives in another state,
Mhm.
but they still, whenever she comes up or he'll go down, they just have a
Mhm.
very close father-daughter relationship. It's
Right.
very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
And if you have 6 like I do, which probably none of you have 6, but it is
6 children.
Yeah.
Okay.
it is really hard to find.
Well,
People
some of those
always
mothers are going,
people always say find individual time to spend with your
Right.
children. For
Yeah,
me,
each
that
one.
did
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
work for me because
Yeah.
I would be giving all of my individual
Right.
time to each child.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah,
became
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So that really was unrealistic for me.
Yeah.
So sometimes for me the most important thing was me to get away.
Right.
Well, my husband would take the kids out and camp in the backyard.
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah.
Set up the
My
tent in the
husband would do
backyard.
that.
My
That
husband
And
is
did
I
that
so
just,
too.
special.
I was in the house.
Right.
So that was my break, was
Yeah.
getting to
That's a
sleep in the
good
house
break.
by
Yeah,
myself,
right.
and the
Yeah.
kids and my husband sleeping in a tent in the
We
backyard.
did that too.
Right.
That
Yeah.
is
It's
so
another
great.
cheap idea.
Yeah.